the plan. They're afraid to fix and break. You know the rod just spam. So buckle down, plug right in. It crawls its way under your skin. Just got out from the things they spout. And it won't make you shout. Give me that gun.
And the good news is it's time for the Grounds with Giles and Jones and a special guest whose name I did not write down.
It's
My
Mike.
bad.
Mike's a hard name.
Mike's a what?
Mike McKay.
Mike McKay.
Personal trainer extraordinaire.
Personal trainer extraordinaire. To the stars of McHenry County and Chicagoland. That's Mike. That's what Mike does. He trains personally to the stars.
That's right.
Because, hey, we got stars right here, and he's training one of those stars.
That's right.
Mr. Ken Jones. And today, the Grounds is brought to you by Reese's Barkery and Pautique at 1313 North Riverside Drive, McHenry, Illinois, 815-363-7297, or pause if you like to spell your phone numbers. Hey, Reese's loves 216 The Net, real life internet radio, and they love your pets too. Your pets are their passion. Check them out, Reese'sBarkery.com. Gentlemen, good morning.
Good morning, everybody. It's Friday, it's wet, and it's cold.
And you got a trunk or treat. That's what you said you wanted to talk about. Reese's, right?
Well, we are. Thank you very much. We are having a trunk or treat this Saturday from 1 to 4:30 at Reese's at 1313 Riverside Drive. We are doing it in the alley behind the store. We're blocking the alley off. We're going to have food truck, games. We're going to have, obviously, hopefully a lot of trunks. It's a hit or miss. You just never know. It's either going to be crazy busy or really slow. Not sure. We're having a pet adoption at the same time.
Nice.
So it should be really fun. We're hoping that the weather cooperates with us and, everyone comes out and has a good day. We did one last weekend over at Miller Point, and that was huge.
It was a crazy day.
Yeah, it was a crazy day, which is great. It's Halloween's kind of all about the kids, or always has been all about the kids, but, try to make it about the adults too,
Yeah.
Because some parents just don't want to take their kids out, They're like, I don't want to do this.
I'm one of them. I think Halloween's stupid.
Yeah. Well, they were just talking this morning about, what neighborhood's going to be lit up. And, parents out there serving alcohol to all the people walking by, which I think is awesome. If you've got a neighborhood like that you can actually go out and enjoy and meet your neighbors and talk and pass a beer or wine.
Absolutely. Get drunk
even
and go run over some kids.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Nothing says...
I didn't say drive or treat.
Nothing says welcome to the neighborhood more than get loaded and then run over the kids trick-or-treating.
Yes. Especially with some of these golf cart neighborhoods, right? But no, we
won't
have any of that. We won't have any of that at Reese's. It's going to be very tame and fun, and we're going to have everyone. All of our retail rock stars are going to be dressed up in costumes. So hopefully it'll be fun. Come on out if you guys want. Bring a trunk, or bring your kids out. Bring your animals out.
Come out for a treat.
I've got my trunk for my kids.
That's right.
And your kids
You're
too.
not supposed to say
We're
that
going
on
to pack
the air.
them in the
People-
trunk and take
when
them
your
away.
kids disappear, they're going to be like, "Wait, Pete, we heard that on 216."
A little junk in the trunk, you'll be fine. A little junk in the trunk, everything.
Well, that's what's her
Never
name? Nicki Minaj with junk in the trunk, right?
So great. Good week, yeah? You said you're pretty busy and tired.
It's been, I'm exhausted today. Yesterday was my 26th wedding anniversary.
26. Congratulations,
son. Crazy. Makes me want to cry that I made it.
Makes your wife think that she cries every day for 26 years.
25 years, 362 days.
Right. And of course, this show, the most unique show out there on 216 The Net, not only do we have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of listeners out there right now listening on the radio, but you can be part of this show if you go to our social media. There's a link that's been shared. Paste it right into your URL. Come in and be part of the show.
Yeah,
like having coffee with us this morning.
Coffee with us, yeah.
And that's why we brought Mike. And of course, Mike. If people want to get in touch with you to learn how to get healthier and get in shape, how do they do that?
Sure. You can just contact me right on my phone number, 779-704-1710.
And you don't have to be local. I mean, you have the capability of doing it online and helping people out.
Yep.
So
is that number again?
779-704-1710.
1710. So if you're out in Singapore and you need a good personal trainer, he could do it right over the interweb. Sure. It's good stuff. It's creative. And he does a great job. So
and it's really good for you too, no matter what, to take care of your physical health, your mental health.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all just a huge intertwine of being human.
It is.
Take care of your body, your mind, your family, your friends.
Yeah. So
take care of your life.
So we were kicking some things around this week on what to talk about here on the grounds. Does that mean he works with old fat women with attitude? Yes, he's working with Dawn Bremer. And me.
Wow,
and
what a great
me.
Man you are.
We're hot over here, Pete.
Hey, and me.
And you, yeah.
So I'm an
so
old
you're
fat
a fat
woman.
over woman?
With an attitude. That's sometimes asking.
I don't want to do that.
It's okay.
That's what we have a personal trainer for.
We're extremely inclusive here.
That's right.
Push you harder and make you want,
whatever your
your
pronoun is, you'll help you out.
Yeah.
That's right. And we're good. So what we wanted to do was we wanted to talk a little bit about Pete. You brought up vision
versus mission statement
and mission statements. Do they really matter?
Yeah, that's actually my question. When you're checking into a company that you're going to do business with, or a person, or whatever, number one, do you actually even look at those? The vision statement, the mission statement. Do you even look? And if you do you actually read them and then filter down? Does this align with my own personal core values or not? And therefore, I shall either do business with them or I shall not do business with them. Does it matter?
I think it matters totally. But Mike, one question really for you: are you going to work for a company, or also for a company that you may be doing business with, like
all the way around?
Store?
Doesn't matter. All the way around. If you're going to engage with an entity that is a business, and this is what they put out as this is our core value, does that matter to you? That's my question. Does it really matter?
It does matter to me in a lot of respects, and actually to my wife more so. She does a lot of research on them, and us in our family, really, we vote with our dollar. And if you don't like a company, its vision and its mission statement, it doesn't align with our core values, we generally are not patronize them.
Do you know your company's vision and mission statements?
Which one?
Any of them?
Well, really, our vision and our mission statement is education, and all of our stores is education as to why you should be using what this company is selling and what we believe, and that we like to give back to the community. So an actual written out vision statement or mission statement, we're still kind of working on those, because that is a core, an important thing to me, to have that core value of why you're doing something, what you're wanting to attain, why you're in business, why you get up every day and do what you do. Because if you're getting up and doing something every day that you don't want to do, or you don't have a goal, or an end result in mind, you're floundering in some respects. And I think a lot of people are like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, a quick answer to your question, Pete, is we do put that into our thought processes if we're going to use somebody or buy something from somebody. As far as employment, I work for myself, so I don't really look at things like that.
Yeah.
But I do look at the core vision and mission statements of companies that I buy from for my businesses. I want to make sure that they, are ethical, obviously. Make sure that they're not harming Mother Earth as best they can in their manufacturing processes. So, it's an important thing, and it's something I don't think a lot of people think about. They just kind of go about their day and patronize something because it's there and that's what they want. I mean, McDonald's, what's their vision statement, or vision or mission statement? To give you cheap food as fast as they can.
One of the biggest real estate companies in the world. Lisa says they are similar to online dating profiles. You don't know their truth or value until you see if they have action that proves the statements.
That's true. They can say a lot of things, but are they backing up what they're saying?
Well,
or what they say they want to
So a mission statement defines the organization's business, its objectives, and how it'll reach these objectives, right? A vision statement details where the organization aspires to go.
Right.
Our mission here at 21/6 The Net is to bring you a daily dose of encouragement through real-life internet radio by, just having idiots on the air like like me.
And me.
There you go.
We all,
right?
yeah, right. And Mike. And Pete.
Yeah, that's right.
Well,
Right.
Pete's not on the air so much to see.
he's on the
He is
air
always
all the
talking, but
time.
he is awesome. Pete's on every day from like
Pete's
5 o'clock
Uncle
in the
Pete's-
morning or something.
Yeah, we do
What
Uncle
time-
Pete in the morning, Monday through Thursday, and Mary Catherine at 6 a.m. on Fridays.
Uncle Pete is on all the
Uncle
time.
Pete is
So-
on the air. He is the air that we
He
breathe.
is the air. So
I am the air beneath your wings.
So-
Or just the air beneath.
Air beneath.
but and here's what I'll say. The answer to your question, Pete, is absolutely no.
That's kind of what I was
And
thinking.
and here's it's kind of it's kind of where does the rubber meet the road? People's actions speak more than a statement. However, do you have a personal mission and vision statement in your life? Have you ever just sat down and said, define my objective and how I'm going to reach those objectives? A personal mission statement, a personal vision statement that details where I aspire to go.
Right. Who you are,
Do
who
you
you
have
want to
one?
become.
You're in your 50s now, Uncle
Mhm.
Pete. Do you have a personal mission and vision statement?
I not so much as I have my mantra, which extrapolates out from there. My mantra every single morning I start the day with be kind, gracious, grateful, and thankful. Be kind, gracious, grateful, and thankful. It's a reminder to myself.
Then he stubs his toe. Son of a bitch!
It's exactly what
The
happened.
real world kicks in. And
The real world
out
kicks
the
in.
door.
Christ, who put that there?
But it's a reminder to myself that what helps me succeed is my attitude and how I relate with others, whether it's my own family, my wife, or anybody I come in contact with that day. I need to remember to be kind, gracious, grateful, and thankful. And that's what drives, that's what's been driving me since I was in my 40s. So,
There you go.
long ago.
And that's a beautiful thing because all that
Of course.
makes you feel good. Well, I don't say makes you feel, helps you feel good, and then will help make other people feel good too because you are being kind, gracious, thoughtful, and appreciative, right? I mean,
Yeah.
and people can sense that, just like you in a company, you can sense if they have those type of values.
Yep.
Well,
I think it's important to kind of have an idea of who you are, where you want to go, and how you're going to get there. Whether it be a great, extravagant idea and plan, or if it's just the basics. Hey, by 50, I want to be making X amount of money, or have 2 kids or grandkids. Just what is your game plan for life?
Yeah.
Right. Just like a company has a game plan for their company, where they want to go, how they want to get there. And I think that it's very important for people to have, their mission statement or their vision statement for their personal life, because otherwise they're just kind of floundering out there and kind of going with the flow, which, are you going to make your life, or are you going to let life make you? And that's a big thing for me. Are you just going with the flow and letting life choose for you, or are you choosing your life? We've talked a lot about, over the times about choices, right? And that's one of the things that I've always pushed with my kids is life is about choices. Every day we make hundreds of choices. A lot of them are automatic that we don't even think about.
Yeah.
But there are those big ones that you have to choose and think about that can affect you, others, everyone around you, and our, Mother Earth. And if you're not doing that, you're not actually thinking about them, how are you getting through your day? Are you just going with the flow, which I think a lot of people do? They just, whatever happens, they go with it, which, a lot of times we don't have control. Well, we don't have control. All we can do is adapt to what happens to us and, kind of reformulate our plan, if you will, for that day. Because, a cog always, or a stick always gets thrown in the wheel of what you're planning on doing. It's how you adapt and how you change to that.
Well, how you adapt and how you flow. And the reason this came up when you guys were asking, via text what we were going to do and what we were talking, the reason this came up is because in where, the day job now,
Day job.
is sitting on the dock of the bay.
There you go. I knew I could get him to sing.
There you go.
Love Pete.
But it tasked with some leadership in their marketing department. I've been putting together a media equipment list, which we don't have there. We're building a media room. And I went out and got what I got what I needed. But then the owner of the company came back and said, okay, this is great, but I want to challenge you to go back and look at the core values of all of these companies and do they align with ours? And then go back and look for a product that matches. And so it may not be the cheapest, but we want to align with companies and do business with companies that align with us. Well, I thought, okay, I'll go do that. And I was surprised at what I read and what I saw, because I have never, like Kent said, the short answer is no. I go get what I need.
As far as a personal mission,
I target as far as companies and products and such.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't read.
You don't think twice about going to, and I don't mean to single somebody out. So let's just say a local restaurant. You don't think about going there, going, wait, is the owner, like an ex-felon or a felon, or
No.
Are they buying from less than?
Is the food warm and is it tasty?
Right?
That's where my brain goes.
I don't care if Jeffrey Dahmer's cooking up people fingers.
So, like, for instance, my wife will not eat at Chick-fil-A.
Is that correct?
She refuses to eat at Chick-fil-A, and I respect her reason for not going there. I love Chick-fil-A, but she will not go there because of all the bashing that they had from the gays and lesbians. Right? They are very Christian-based company, and they don't believe in that, and they were very public about that.
But at the same time, when that nightclub in Florida, that was a gay nightclub, experienced that shooting, the very first people on the scene with food and drink and support and everything they could do, it didn't have anything to do with corporate necessarily, but the owner of a Chick-fil-A was there feeding people for free.
That's not necessarily Chick-fil-A corporate.
No, Chick-fil-A is a franchise,
right?
Yeah,
but Chick-fil-A's corporate.
So why? So in that respect, again, to your point, let's look at the owners. If we're going to do this, look at the people who own the franchises and look at the people who are the individuals and ask those things.
Right.
Rather than, because I will tell you too, I got a little bent when Coke decided to tell everybody how white we should be or shouldn't be.
I don't think I heard that nightmare.
Yeah, no more polar bears.
Yeah.
Lisa, of course, Lisa Eflin, great show Sunday mornings. Lisa's Changing Perceptions. Tune in. She'll be back live this week. It's
Eddie
good.
Martinez, look at he says, life is like a box of chocolates. Him and Forrest Gump.
My personal mission statement is to keep within mindset that if today were my last day, would I be proud to show who I was to my maker. I didn't read that correct, Lisa, but that's her personal. It is now. That's your new one.
Well, if today's the last day, did she do everything that she wanted to do? And was it something that she would be proud to tell people? Hey, I did this today.
Yeah.
That's a good way to look at things. Really,
Tim Santos, good morning as well.
If you did those things, are you proud of what you've done today? I mean, I'm
always proud.
Right.
Tim says, mission is why we exist. Vision is where we are going. What about you? I mean, your goal in life or your mission is to help
make people healthier one person at a time, right?
Change the world,
help achieve their goals
through that. I mean, have you written down?
I don't have a written down, definitive and articulate statements or whatever, which now that we're talking about that, it makes me kind of want to do that because it would probably be nice to have that.
Keeps you honest.
Right.
Yeah.
I do have, what it is for me personally, and I could, describe it, but not in like a solid, concise statement.
Yours is what?
Mine is to take, all the stuff that I've, gone through in the past, the things that I've learned, the things that, I've come to continue developing, but then to be able to, share that with other people to either help them prevent, making the same mistakes, or to make their journey more efficient, in any way that I can.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You're wanting to help people, which also helps you, right? I mean,
exactly. Right.
And that's a good thing because a lot of people aren't like that. I mean, a lot of us are out for ourselves, unfortunately.
Mine's kill them all, let God sort them out. I saw it on a T-shirt once.
There you go.
I saw it on a T-shirt once.
I thought you were wearing that last week, weren't you?
That's what Alex.
But
never mind.
Yeah, no. But
Lisa says it's not what I wanted to do as much as who I was when things didn't go as I wanted, or when sacrifice was necessary to do what's right, even when it was hard.
Yeah, that's character.
I mean, that's one of the things, I always go back to like the schools and them teaching kids and, how to deal with themselves, their minds, their mental, their third brain or their third voice in their brain and stuff like that. This is one that I think would also be really advantageous for the schools to actually incorporate into their daily regimen is, getting together a kind of a mission statement or a life plan. Because a lot of people don't have a life plan. They kind of grow up, watching TV going, oh, that's cool. I like the way the Brady's were. I like this. And, I'd like to be an engineer or whatever. But not a lot of people actually, and I'm guilty as hell, that to sit down and go, okay, by the time I'm 21, I want to have graduated from college and maybe be working in this industry. And then you can set up a roadmap on how to get to there. So and I think that's where I've faltered a lot. And I think a lot of other people falter because we just kind of go with the flow, right?
So,
what the day brings.
So the guy who has Wake Up America, Question Everything, says the school system should teach kids and help kids create their vision and mission statement in life.
Absolutely. And the reason I think that they should
indoctrinate them. In other words, hey, you know what, Pete? I really like that you say you want to change the world one person at a time. Not what I'm thinking for your personal mission statement. Let me help you with that. Here's what it should be. I mean, that's you know what, Scott? That is a great personal vision statement. F. What? Yeah, no, F. It's.
Well, I mean, when you were right. Well, when you were younger,
now you're like,
no,
but it's mine. Yeah, no.
When you were younger, was that a conversation that you had with parents, friends, whatever, about who you want to be when you're older, where you want to go, to actually start thinking about that, or were you just more concerned with just being a kid and goofing off and
but I don't think that has anything to do with the school system. I mean, the way that I was raised, the way that I raised my kids, yes, I can tell you that my kids, we talked about that stuff, right? And I was raised in a church setting, and that's where you kind of learn your morals and ethics, and that's where you align the type of person that you're going to be. Not necessarily a school teacher saying, okay, write it down. Oh, great, Scotty, F. But this is what I want. Pete, you got in trouble in school because, hey, what do you want to be when you grow up? Happy.
Oh, that was with my grandfather.
Or it was your grandpa.
Yeah.
Right?
That's true. That's a true
story.
story.
Right?
Right. And so that's great. But what is happy?
But it was wrong.
Right.
To grandpa.
Yeah.
Right.
My grandfather said, no, that's wrong. And I remember I was only 5 or 6. And I remember thinking to myself, no, it's pretty much right. And I just kind of went on about, whatever.
So, right. And that is right for you. Yeah. That's right for you. So so if you want to be happy, what are your steps to be happy? Right. I mean, and what is happy to you? Can you define?
Right. But
can you define what's happy
you're the
to
guys, think for yourself, Wake Up America, Question Everything. Schools should teach me what my mission statement is.
No, I didn't say schools should teach you. Schools should help you. So, actually get those juices flowing to actually think about it. Because I think back to when I was a kid. I was born and raised Catholic, went to the, boys only high school. I mean, and other than going on like a Kairos retreat, they really didn't say, who are you, Scott? It was more, this is what we need to teach you. This is what you need to learn because this is what we've been told.
Right.
And but they didn't, in my mind, they didn't challenge me to go, really, you know what, Scott, who are you really? I mean, not aside of what your friends say, aside of what you see on TV or whatever, who do you want to be and why? And if this is where you want to be, what are the steps that you're going to maybe need to take?
That's mass chaos. You can't do that.
Isn't that kind of teaching individual thinking?
Individual thinking, critical thinking, but schools don't do that.
Correct.
I know that, and that's what I'm saying. I think that the
that's
reason that I have these statements.
That's your job as a parent.
I do that as a parent.
It's not society's job.
I do that as a parent, but unfortunately, in our society today, there's a lot of parents that are failing at that, and so. Right, it's do that for the greater good. So if you can help pick up the pieces where maybe a parent is failing, to help.
Everybody,
who's going to benefit out of that? America.
Everybody in their life has one teacher that meant something to them. Pete, who was it?
Mr. Fry.
Who was it?
My freshman world history teacher in high school.
Who was it, Scott?
Mrs. O'Brien.
What grade?
Santa Maria del Popolo in Mundelein. It was, man, fifth grade, I think.
His name was Tom. He was like a father figure for a lot of my life.
Yeah, what grade?
Started when I was 16.
16. Mr. Burgess, right? My fifth grade too. My fifth grade teacher, right? So there's, and that's the one teacher. That's the one teacher probably that stretched you a little bit, made you think outside of the book.
So, and
right?
for you, what was your guy and why?
Dave Burgess. Yeah.
What did he do? How did he open your eyes? How did he make you think about things differently?
He of course, he was like my scoutmaster as well, right? So when I was in the Boy Scouts, so you learn a lot of life, through there. And but he's also the guy who understood who I was, right?
Did you understand who you were?
Oh, I always
did
have.
He help you?
And I talk about that today. The school system, I got in trouble for being who I am. You talk too much. Instead of them encouraging me to be like, hey, you know what? You talk a goddamn lot. Maybe you should be on a radio.
Right?
Maybe your job should be a speech.
Right? They could have encouraged you.
Right. However, it was like, you know what? He interrupts class too much. He doesn't try real hard.
Yeah, they point out all the negatives to you.
And today I would be on Ritalin and every other drug because I was hyper back in the 70s and 80s, which now is ADHD, right? So I would be on all these mind-altering drugs, legal ones that were prescribed anyway, so to speak. But here's what I'm saying is I invited this guy and he came to my wedding. That's what kind of
that really meant something.
That's what kind of impact this guy had on my life. I still think of him today in certain situations. And you know what the cool thing was, back in the late 70s, he had a beard, right? And he smoked Moors. Remember those? The little skinny cigars, Yeah. And of course, you could smoke in the buildings, at the teacher's lounge and stuff. So we'd go out for recess. You'd come back and he'd smell like a little more, cigar,
a little
cigarello, right? You're like, hey, great, and he's
probably been better if he smelled like a s'more.
It's funny that you say that you were kind of the ADHD kid, the kid that was hyper talking a lot. So don't you think, in some respects, that the teacher shouldn't guide you, but be like, hey, Kent, you are outgoing. You do like to talk. And, have you ever thought about, and granted, you're in fifth grade, so I mean, really, it's not something you're thinking about every day. You just want to have fun. But if you start pushing that or making kids think about stuff like that, the younger they are, I think, and granted, this is my opinion, not 216 the net, that you're going to be a little bit better off because you're going to think about those things, right? Instead of just doing what they say, and I think that's where the world, not even just school, there's no individuality being pushed. Don't be individual, be a group, follow this, get us. Like, I know a lot of teachers that are just now in school, we just need to get them through. We just need to make sure they have a C and get them through. We're going to pass everybody. We don't fail anybody. And that's sad.
Well,
because you could be like the next Dan Rather. You could have been the next Dan Rather.
Let me ask you this.
I'm leaving.
You said you guys are all business owners in here, and if you're a business owner out there, listen to what I'm saying.
Actually, my wife.
You have your mission statement, and this is how we're going to get to the vision statement, how we're going to work, and for your business. And you set a goal, and you hit 60% of that goal for the year. Successful or not successful year?
Successful.
Okay.
Successful.
Successful.
Yeah.
Anything better than what you started at is success.
It's a D in school. Hey, man, you got 6 out of 10 right.
That's true.
D.
Yeah.
Wait, what? We should be celebrating that. We're business people here, and we just said success. Hey, we'll take 60%.
Yeah.
Right?
And think about,
that's a good year.
Right. Think about what you just said.
Right?
In school, that's a D.
And you want these
in life,
people
that's
to help
success.
People think, no, it's not. You failed, Pete. Gee, many Christmas. It was spelling words. You only got 6 out of 10 right. Write these other 4 words 28 times, and you could get home, and your mom and dad would be like, "What in the blue Jesus did you guys just do?"
How much better off do you think you would be if
That's
when
the
you got
Smurf
6
God.
out of 10,
Right.
Blue Jesus.
if you got
Blue
6 out of
Jesus,
10,
Smurf God.
right?
Yeah.
Which is it is a D as far as the grading
That-
system,
yeah,
which that's bell curve and all this stuff.
Yeah, that's a failure.
But it shouldn't be taught that way. Be like, you know what, you did better than what you were at. Let's work on it harder.
I get that, but
And
it's
how do
not.
we get there?
It's not. It'll never change. It just
Can't
isn't.
say never. Don't say never, because then you've already kibosh.
We've had this school system in America and this grading system for hundreds of years,
and we're finally starting to wake up and realize that it's not working well.
Who is?
I think a lot of
You
people.
You
you're
got
on-
kids in school?
Not anymore.
There's no different than when you and they all sit in lines now, except in the lines that the chairs are in. They now have plexiglass around them, right?
They're like being in the penalty box at the hockey game.
Yeah, right. But it doesn't matter. You could do the very best you possibly can, and I could see improvement. 61 D instead of great job, great improvement. You know what? You only missed 4.
Okay.
Rock and roll.
So what about
Get better.
switch to pass fail?
Right?
What about just
I
pass
think-
fail?
And Kent's got an amazing point, because all the way through school, I had no, even as a young kid, I have no fucks to give.
Right.
I really didn't. And that's followed me through this day. When I got a D or an F or whatever, I took a look at what, I'm like, oh, well, I got that one right. And I was fine with
You
that.
look at the positive.
I looked at what I looked
did
at
right,
what I
not
did
what you did
right,
wrong.
and I really didn't care. I also got kicked out of preschool for inciting a riot.
Preschool.
I did.
I was that happening with Kent. With you, I don't see that. Kent, I could see him
Oh,
looking at the teacher
redheaded
going,
guy? Oh, my
"Really?
God.
What do you mean?"
I
know a guy that later in life.
I literally,
say?
I discovered that, and as every kid does, when you put the crayons in your nose and the crayons in your ears, they stick. And I thought that was absolutely fantastic. I jumped up out of my chair, climbed on the table, and said, "Come on, we got to do this." And I had all the kids, boys and girls, crayons in the nose. And the teacher had stepped out for whatever reason. She walked back into a room full of kids standing on the table, dancing around with crayons in their nose and crayons in their ears. And who started this? Everybody immediately pointed at me, and I got kicked out of preschool. But it was freaking awesome. I loved it. I remember that with so much joy. I really, truly do. Yeah. Because look what I accomplished.
Yeah.
I got everybody up out of their seat and up on the
You were a
freaking
leader,
table.
and back then, that might have been your way. And the teachers could have,
Yeah.
somebody could have looked at it and be like, "Wow, you know what? He's an influencer, right?
But
Can you go with that?" So I know the school has been the way they've been for many, many years, but
Eddie says that's his
there's
next
always
Halloween
time. There's always time for change, right? And there's always room for change. No, it's not set in stone. I think our grading system in school sucks. I think their mission statement these days is to get them through.
So then, what?
With the bare minimum.
How many school board meetings do you go to make the change?
You know, that's funny, because I was just actually asked to start becoming more politically involved and getting on boards. And I did when my kids were young, we were highly involved in the schools.
Here's why he will be good at that, being politically involved. Because I just asked him a question, he walked all the way around it without answering it.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
I didn't get a chance.
He asked you a simple question. And I'm guilty. I was guilty of this yesterday over a LinkedIn chat. Oh my God, I was guilty of this. But he said, "How many school board meetings have you gone to?" You never gave a number. It was a simple answer.
I was explaining myself, and number, I don't know how many, but I would.
That's a good political answer.
So,
but yeah,
I mean, as far as the number, I don't know a number, but I've gone to many school board meetings, and I've actually gotten asked to leave.
I can imagine that too.
Well, because I put them on the spot and I took them off their agenda because they brought up a point, and I said, "Well, okay, to your point, what are you going to do about this?" And as my wife's kicking me, and because I want to know. I just, me, I speak my mind, and a lot of times I do stick my foot in my mouth because I don't. For me, it's a lot of times it's harder to actually put what I want to ask and what actually comes out of my mouth are two different things, unfortunately. Putting together my questions properly. So,
maybe
if I
write them down.
Why you like the color blue? It might come out of why do you like blue? or blue. That's, so I really have to think about what I'm going to say before I say
For
it,
someone
because
who's
I
so
don't-
disdainful about blue, you have a lot of it on you and in front of you.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I'm very, very happy to.
Blue his life and a blue little
Oh my
window
God,
and a
there's
blue
big
Corvette.
something there Lisa put it.
Right.
So,
But
big
the
statement.
answer to your statement, be getting away from political, is I've been to quite a few, and it was frustrating, honestly, because a lot for me, once again, everything that they're asking to do seemed very simple and straightforward, and an easy way to start your process of getting it done. But then the politicalness gets involved, and it starts muddying up the waters and makes it really hard. Well, wait, what about this PC?
Listen, I will absolutely vote for you because you still haven't answered. He said,
I said, I don't know. I said many.
And Lisa
All right,
does have a large
23,
comment here.
That's what I was looking for.
But before
It's 8 o'clock in the morning. I've only been up since 5. My brain ain't working yet.
I got an hour and 15 minutes on you. I've been up since 3:45.
I didn't sleep good.
But
last
here's the
night 'cause of
truth,
my
too.
Anniversary.
And yeah, hey, yeah, right.
Woo-hoo!
But let me help you as well. I would absolutely vote for you, not because you're one of my personal, close friends, but because you're the guy who would go in and shake shit up. And nothing might ever come of it from the one term that you're in there. But you'll
half a term because
but you'll shake enough people up to get them start to think different.
Thank you, and that is my goal.
Yeah,
I want people to think differently, right? Well, because the status quo ain't working.
Yeah.
So if I can get you to think differently, whether you like me or hate me, that I do want people to like me. I'll be honest. I don't know too many people that don't want people to like them, but I also want you to think for yourself, not because someone tells you what to think and how to think it. So that's why I drive around with some of these crazy statements on my truck.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not to piss people off. It's not really to incite them. It's really to get them to think. Because I know a couple weeks ago I said it's to piss people off. It's not really to piss them off. It's to go, why?
I like pissing people off.
So I don't necessarily want to piss them off. I want to wake them up to actually think about, because I am guilty in my life of not really being woke up in certain things, because I was like, I can't change it. I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to move on.
Yeah.
And that's where the world has gotten to.
Yeah.
Right.
So
my
given all
personal
that,
mission statement would be to help better the world one person at a time.
Okay, there you go. Help better the world one person at a time. Mike, given that you've been sitting there nodding a lot,
we got Mike's even here.
and here's the thing: you just got to start talking. Is the way this works. But I do have a question for you, Mike. Do you have kids?
I do.
Okay, and are you involved in their education? Are they school age, or are you involved in their educational process?
Yeah, I have one daughter. She's 8, so she's in 3rd grade now. And so, and that's one of the things, like, around here, because I know there's so much, mess with all the school system and stuff, but around here, I haven't experienced any kind of, issue yet with, a lot of, weird indoctrination kind of stuff with her. Her teacher is somebody that we know personally and all this stuff. So there's very, good stuff I know that's going into, her. So it is a concern for down the road, because I think, what happens if we are to move and we go someplace out, or whatever. But yeah.
No. So I would say that with my kids are all adults now. They're
at least they're adult age.
Adult age. But yeah, they're all adults. Our middle son and our daughter were very, very, growing up, I tend to, I taught them all, much like Kent, much like Scott. We have this in common: question everything, no matter what. Question it, investigate, ask, learn, do. But the sway in education for any of them did not come until they got into college. And now their thought processes and their lines of thinking are phenomenally different than the raising process, that, with the exception of, they still question everything, but they brought in, I don't know,
perspective,
the liberal perspective and everything, which they both, our daughter and our middle son, our daughter's our youngest, our middle son, they lean a little bit more to the left than I do. But that doesn't mean I love them any less. or it basically means I love them more because they've discovered themselves and who they are.
Right, they're becoming individuals.
And becoming individuals.
But you put 2 cots out in the garage.
And, yeah, I did.
The dogs got their better.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you gave them the skills, right, when they were younger to be individual thinkers, right?
Yeah.
To question everything and to, be proud of who they are and to pursue something. And they might have gone more left than you are because that's how life has changed them or what life has taught them with their experience.
Right. It's been their recent experience as they walked into adulthood.
But, the thing that I will say too, Scott, going back to your Hey School should, your vision, your personal vision and mission statement when you were in school, 5th grade, has changed how many times?
I had no personal vision statement or mission statement until I got out of
college.
But
you understand what I'm saying? Okay, well, let school do this. At what grade? Oh, let's do it in high school. Okay,
I would have absolutely
loved economics class. So now I'm 16, 17 years old, and we'll try to get you to do that. And your personal vision and mission statement at 16, probably a lot different than what it is at 50.
Absolutely. But so I would have loved had they had, just an exploration class, right? Just like critical thinking. I think that's one class that everybody should take is a critical thinking class. So it actually makes you think about things on your own to be an individual.
Well,
and it could have steered me in a completely different direction for me because I had ADHD.
Define critical thinking.
Thinking of something in a more depth than just a yes or no, and as to a why, a how, a when.
Yeah, we read
what's
the classics,
the end? Well,
right?
what's the end result? Most people don't think about their action and what the end result is going to be, right? So, like with Mike, right? Just to kind of throw in exercise. If you're going to exercise, your end result, if you're following the protocol and doing the things you need, is going to be in better shape. What that better shape is something that you're going to determine with your trainer, right? In life, your mission statement will change, and if you follow your plan, right, to get you to that point, it's going to change because no plan ever goes according to plan. That's kind of weird, right?
Yeah,
no plan ever goes according to
this
plan.
This guy, what does he say?
Robert Giles. The main purpose of education is the integral development of a person.
Integral.
It's to make them well-rounded.
To learn the word integral.
Right. But I think what schools originally started out was to well-round people, to give them
reading, writing, arithmetic.
Right. So your basic skills, right? Well, but
the 3 R's.
Your basics, right? So you can communicate with people and you can function at a basic level. I think our world has gone past that, or is going past that, to where functioning at a basic level is.
That's why they do algebra. That's critical thinking. That gets you to think.
Algebra. I sucked at word problems.
I was actually philosophical. You want a philosophy class.
Philosophy is amazing too.
Right, but critical thinking is algebra. It is science. That's critical.
Algebra is actually it's following a set of what's the word I'm trying to think of? Come on, look at me, Kent. I'm
critical thinking.
No, but you're following like a set of rules basically. So like,
algebra, you've got the parameters of mathematics,
right? Of mathematics, which you have a set line of thinking that you have to do to get to this point, right? If you don't do this, then this is not going to happen. So you have to do this to make this happen.
That's procedural thinking.
There you go. Thank you. Sorry. You have certain procedures that you have to go through to get to the end result. Same within life.
But what you're saying, critical thinking is you just use the same definition for critical thinking. You said you need to know what the result is and how that affects and what comes after that. That's procedural thinking then.
Critical thinking is within the word itself. Critical thinking means to think critically. You're going to investigate. You're going to look at a situation, any given piece that you're thinking about, you're going to look at it with critical eyes, meaning you're going to pick it apart.
You're going to pick it apart.
You're going to investigate. You're going to examine. And then you're going to make decisions based on what you discover. And you may discover things that sway you one way or sway you another, or cause you to move one way, or cause you to go another, or
Right.
cause you to establish processes. You have to have critical thinking before you can have procedural thinking. That has to happen.
Critical thinking, the objective analysis and evaluation of an issue in order to form a judgment.
There you go.
Judgment.
That's not how he had defined it.
No,
Well, you've got your computer where there's your dictionary.
Well, yeah. See, that's
well,
critical thinking.
that's how I defined it,
It's
but not
technology.
using those
That's
words.
technology.
But yeah,
no. And
That's
I see
critical
what
thinking.
I see what you're getting. I see where you're coming from there. But how I view it.
And listen, everybody listening doesn't know that I have a computer. I was coming,
Oh, sorry,
I was,
Jeez, I just go
I
from
was-
memory. Kent's
I
always
was
got a
literally
computer.
coming across as a real smart. And they're probably driving on their way to work. Like, damn, this guy knows this shit.
This guy's like a dictionary. Oh wait, he's got a computer in front of him, and that's okay.
I
But
don't.
I mean,
I don't critically think.
So, I highly disagree with you on that one, Kent. I think you are very, very critical. I think you are very strategic.
No, I don't form judgments. I don't judge anybody. I love everybody. This is beautiful.
I love everybody too. Till they
It was
prove-
just-
he
till
also
they prove
hates
me
everybody.
wrong.
I hate everybody equally.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
correct. I love them and hate them equally. It was just, a
And that's your
product.
personal mission statement, right?
I love and hate you at the
I
same
love
time.
and hate you at the same time, and give me a reason to love you or hate you more,
That's right.
right?
That's right.
So
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's where I'm at. So, so I don't. Again, I'm gonna jump on your pops end of things. The issue that and where we've gone sideways in the United States is we say go to school and learn, and education is at home. You are the educator. The school district, the school system should support the education that you give your children, right? It's your job, right? If there were no schools, how would that kid be educated?
like a lot more
Okay.
kids are getting done these
So-
days at home.
So you have to understand and spend hours educating your children, which Alice and I have done it to nauseam with 4 kids, right? And now 3 of them are adults, and we go, they get it.
and you
They're
did a good
educated,
job.
right? And my daughter's got a master's degree. Your daughter's got 17 master's degrees. She's going to end up with the space doctorate. I mean, she's got more brains than most people in this room put together.
And
right?
knows how to use them.
Yeah, she's brilliant, right?
Right.
And so,
All my kids are really very. I
But-
wish I could say they got that from me.
but
They did.
you were involved in their education, and that's what I mean. In America today, it's hey, bud, we'll see you after school. You come home from school, okay, have a snack, do your homework, time for bed. While I'm over in the corner drinking vodka, smoking a cigarette, and watching Grey's Anatomy. Right?
That
Yeah.
you just described a lot of America.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Right? But the education.
So with that being said, the parents are failing. That's where I would hope that the schools could help pick up some of that slack.
you have to the schools just to support.
See, and before each of our kids
I didn't say
started
do it all, help
kindergarten,
it.
because this is what was done with me, I thought, okay, I got to prepare them for this. I could read, write, and do very basic math before I started kindergarten. My mom taught me how to do that. So I did not realize when I walked into kindergarten that I was heads and tails over almost everyone in the room. But I did that the same with each of our kids. Each of our kids could read, write, and do basic math before they started kindergarten. And that, I think, helped them all do very well, or do at least much better than probably waiting on the school system to be, I mean, for crying out loud. I remember sitting in kindergarten, first grade, being bored out of my freaking skull because we were learning how to freaking count.
Pete, you were 16 in the first grade. It was in Missouri.
That's true. That's true.
Yes. And your
But
teacher
I
had- your
picked
teacher
everybody
had
even
no
still,
teeth.
even
Yeah.
still,
Right.
I was the best damn 16-year-old first grader you ever saw.
That's it. So Eddie says the dude in the back is chill through this whole time. That dude in the back is Mike McKay, personal trainer. Mike, if people want to,
If you can,
Eddie, you want to see him not chill? Maybe you should hire him.
if you could see what Kent looks like now, I don't think Mike's doing his job. Have you really put together a mission statement here?
Yeah. Oh,
What's the mission statement?
Yeah, just bust my ass. Get
Kick
no,
Kent's
it's
ass.
all right. You'd have to ask
Did you
him,
just
but
start with him?
listen, he has
We
me
did,
doing
yeah.
things where I'm shaking like Michael J. Fox. I feel like
We don't want to hear that, man. We don't want to hear. It's kind of amazing once you make those
So
muscles
when you're
wake
doing
up.
that, we should hand you a can of paint, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing when your muscles wake up.
Thanks for
isn't it?
tuning in, Michael. Appreciate
Right.
it.
So a personal trainer is waking up your muscle in your body.
Oh,
Whereas school
more
should
than
be
you know.
waking up your mind.
No,
Yes,
No.
they should.
no, because if I don't put the effort in, what he's having
And the
to do
same
to-
at school, right?
No.
You need to be putting the effort in.
No.
My teachers didn't put the effort
School
in
should
for
be
me. My
supporting you.
teachers, because of my ADHD,
So when
my
your kids
teachers-
came home with that D,
Yeah.
what did you say to them? Great job.
my kid, no,
Yeah.
what happened?
Oh,
What don't you understand?
So you bought into what the school system is
No.
trying to do.
Why did you get it?
60% is a success
My
in business.
my question was, why did you get a D? What are you not understanding that you didn't get higher? Right? What type of help do you need?
Why do they need help? Because 60% is a win in real life.
Yeah.
Why
If
do
you
they
look
need
at it,
help?
right? And that's
Right?
what that's a great statement, because that's the way I was programmed, because that's the way I was brought up, right?
Right.
So,
and then
as a
you
parent,
want the
I
school
failed
to
by
program
saying that-
kids to think critically.
I don't want them to program. I want them
Right.
to actually just
Well, you just-
open their minds. I didn't
You
say
said
program them.
You said that's how I was programmed.
That's how I was. I went to school. I don't think my grade school did me any justice. My grade school basically, other than Mrs. O'Brien, right, I feel actually pushed me down and made me worse because I was that ADHD kid. I couldn't sit still, and I had learning disabilities. I couldn't tell you how many times
Big
that I was
shout-out.
told that I'm going to fail, that I would be a better garbage truck driver.
Yeah. Big,
And that's what's driven me to become who I am today, because if someone tells me I can't do something, that makes me all more want to do it,
sure.
right? So, I mean,
I don't think you can buy into this station.
hey. So with that
See
being
how I did
said,
that, Pete? You see
Yeah.
how he worked that?
Yeah, I did. I did.
I don't
I
think so.
think
I mean,
my
here's the
brain-
thing.
My brain just shut off.
Here's the thing. My junior year of high school, I was actually put into, and no one even told me until
25 years old.
I came back. Yeah, I was 25. My junior year of high school, I was put into the LD remedial English class
No speaking.
because I didn't do anything in the English class I had the semester before. I came back, I walked into that class, they're like, "Oh, you're not in here." I'm like, "Oh, where am I supposed to go?" They brought me
High school?
downstairs. And
Now,
they
keep
put me in a
mind, at
class.
This time he looked like Meatloaf.
He already
He had
had
the
a
long
beard.
hair.
I did,
beard.
actually.
Yeah.
I've
crayons in his nose.
been this
I
same.
never could get them out.
I never could. That was one of the reasons they put me in remedial English, because I would still had the crayons in my nose from preschool.
That's how he does his drawing.
Yeah, and I just get down there and shake my head on the paper. But I didn't. I just sat there because the teacher to me up in the upstairs class was I just felt like she was such a freaking moron. I didn't do anything. I didn't feel like I was learning anything, so I did nothing. So then I wound up, because I did nothing, they thought I had no comprehension skills. I went downstairs and sat there, and I'm like, I guess I'm here. And it was a kid. The teacher was I think it was her first year out of college.
Yeah.
In that class, and she was just there monitoring people. She made us write a paper on our favorite comedian or whatever it was. I can't remember what it was, but I did a whole thing about, because it's something I love. I did a whole thing about Steve Martin.
I love
And
Great stuff.
absolutely
Wild and
love
crazy guys.
Steve Martin.
Great guy.
But I analyzed his comedic style, and I turned it in, and she came up to me and she says, "I don't know why you're in here." And I said, "Because they told me to come sit in here." And she said, "But you don't belong in here." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but I really don't care." And so
You just wanted out.
I really did not. I didn't give. I totally gave
Still,
no fucks.
So,
But
Robert,
yeah, they don't know.
Robert says, my college professor told me that it's not knowing the answers to everything. It's knowing where and how to use your mind to find them. That's what I'm here to teach you how to do that. Now, here,
Bingo.
You can ask the three oldest kids, and you can probably ask Lucy, who's in 7th grade right now, and they will tell you that, Dad, you're a perfectionist. You're so upset if we don't get A's. And to Lisa's point, all that I ever ask him is, did you try your best? Did you do your best? And if the answer is no, why? And if the answer is yes, then good job. And then now we've got some area that we can try to work and improve on if that was absolutely your best. And so they would hear, you need to do better, right? And if you ask,
it's not good enough.
My daughter's a clinical psychologist, and she'll say, Dad, you were such a perfectionist. I was so scared to come home without an A. And I'm like,
sucks.
I'm like, all I wanted you to do was your best. So, how, and I try to go back there, and I've never said to any of my kids, you need to get A's. Probably what I said is, if you're capable of getting A, you should
just do your best.
Do your best, right? Because there are some, some people are good at math, some people are not. Some people are good at writing, some people are not, right? So I hated reading all the way through high school and college. I got through college probably without reading even a chapter in any of my books.
Wow. You cheated a lot.
No, didn't cheat. You understand. I listen to what the professor is saying, and that's what's going to be on the test.
True.
What's in this book doesn't matter. I got through a theology class because not on what theology is, but what on the professor's theology was. Yeah. And the paper I had to write matched the professor's theology train of thought, and I smoked it. It was awesome.
And that's how you do that.
And that's
So did that teacher do you any justice?
What do you mean? No.
Did he teach you how to think for yourself, or did he teach you how to prep
realized
for his exam?
Is in the world of religion, theology is self-made, and each person has their own theology.
Bingo.
Right?
But did he teach you?
100% correct.
Did he teach you how to find the right answers, or did you just listen to his right answers to take the test and pass the grade?
No.
He wrote that he performed to the teacher so he could get a passing grade. He just he basically manipulated the system that he recognized to his benefit.
Right.
That's what he did.
Now, as I've gotten older, I really enjoy reading now. So I have read a lot of theology books. I've read a lot of books because that again helps you think. And what I should have at that time, but I was like, listen, I'm going to get through this. And I'm going to give you what you want to get me through this. Simple as that, right? Statistics class. I basically taught in college because Mr. Chen was here from Korea or something, and he didn't speak real good English. Nobody understood that. Well, I took a college level statistics class in high school. It was basically the same thing my freshman year. So I tutored half the class, right? It was easy. Statistics is easy. Math is easy for me, right? So the idea is, when it comes to your vision and mission statement, and helping children develop their vision and mission statement is, to Lisa's point, kids, you can talk till you're blue in the face with kids, but they're going to do what they see. They'll mimic what they see.
Do as I do, not as I say.
So, my kids know that, my two oldest ones, I knew that I worked my ass off. I worked hard. That's what I told them. Get a good education. You don't have to work as hard as me. But they saw my work ethic, and they would see me start snoring in the easy chair at 8:30 at night or whatever, because I was exhausted, right? And and now if there's stress in my life, I get exhausted, right? But if now I've got a good machine that helps me breathe and sleep real well, I'll get 7 to 8 hours of sleep a day, and I've learned, hey, if you're tired, go to bed.
Right.
And it's not cool. You don't have to stay up and watch the news.
And this is it. Shana just hits it right on the head, right?
Yeah.
Live by example. My kid called me out on that a few times in this last year's. I do as I say, not as I do. Well, do as I do, not as I say. Well, right? Let me show you how to do.
So in our training, and it's just been a couple weeks that you and I have been working together. Mike says, "Hey, you want me to just tell you what to do, or you want me to tell you what the reason why and how?" Right? And I'm like, "No, I'm a reason guy because I'll go home and I'll study it. Hey, you need to do it this way, and I'll go home and study that to what effect it has, right? Because now I love to learn. I want to continue to do that, so that when people ask me, hey, well, Mike, boy, I'm starting to see some difference and some change in your life. What are you doing? And I can promote Mike's business, but I can say, because of this. So here's
when
what
you got firsthand experience, and you're an example. I did it, and this is what happened to me.
And I didn't know that my health or whatever was failing until Mike said, hey, this, and this. Oh, I can go to a doctor all day. They can shove a finger up my butt, check my prostate.
Well, you can do that. You don't have to go to a doctor to get it.
And then he goes back the next day to do it again.
Fantasy Factory. Yeah, you can go to Fantasy Factory for that. But we are at the
A
end
finger
of our
up your
hour
butt
already.
at the
Holy
Fantasy
cow.
Factory? Is that a service you offer there?
But it doesn't.
We
know,
could.
But that doesn't mean I know. How,
Wait, no, we can't.
that doesn't
No,
mean I
it
know
can't.
how to keep a healthy prostate.
Right.
So,
Right. But you learn by reading or someone teaching you
Right.
by example.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So
And hey, if you want to show up on Monday or Wednesday mornings at 6 a.m., you can come work out with us. Pay Mike. We'll be happy. Everything will be
well,
fine.
guys, it's the end of hour for us. Mike,
Yeah.
thanks for coming in today.
Yeah.
I just want to throw
You're
one
welcome
more
back
thing out,
every
one more
Friday
shout out
morning.
that Reese's is doing their trunk or treat this Saturday, 1 to 4:30. Please stop by, support us.
Yeah.
We are doing an adoption event. Give back to the community. Just come out, have fun, bring out your kids. And like we always say on 216 The Net, the grounds,
Yep.
love each other,
Hey,
help
yeah,
each other out.
gummies are good. Yeah.
Yeah, gummies are good. We don't say that here, but we do it at Cannabis.
So, and stick around, Bridging Civil Tension, how to raise mixed kids. Can I put it that way? Just
Multi-talented.
in today's society.
Multi-talented kids.
And, and that's on in a half hour. Right after that is Success Journey Podcast. And then at noon, you're going to have the Bear Facts on Guns. Tune in. It was a great show last night. The replay. And at 3 o'clock, of course, in the know with Steph and Joe. And tonight at 8 p.m., we'll have a new Drink Home Experts. So,
Guys, thanks for tuning in. Go out there, love one another. Have a great weekend. Pray for good weather. And you know what?
Be safe and watch
Think
for
about
kids. Truly taking time and watching the kids up there as everybody runs around all week.
Think about the mission, vision,
It's
statement
shoved
for
right
everybody.
down your throat.
Love y'all. Be good.
Another
Thank you.
fucking
We're blessed.
made of woe. So buckle down, plug right in. It crawls its way under your skin. Just got by from the things they spout, and it won't make you shout. Give me that good news, because I'm tired of the same old shit.